In the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit, Criminal Division in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, case number 22 CF001136 BMB Division B. State of Florida versus Timothy Dunn Ferriter. Defendant. Verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count 1, we find the defendant guilty of aggravated child abuse as charged in the information. As to count 2, we find the defendant guilty of false imprisonment as charged in the information. As to count 3, we find the defendant guilty of neglect of a child as charged in the information. So we say all this 12th day of October 2023 in West Palm Beach, Florida, signed by the jury foreperson.
Oh, that was Tim Ferriter as he was found guilty of aggravated child abuse, child neglect, and false imprisonment. This guy is the father who was convicted of locking his adopted son in an 8-by-8-foot box in their garage. Throughout the trial, Ferriter rarely displayed any emotion. And as we just saw during the reading of the verdict, he remained pretty composed. He's facing up to 40 years in prison now, and during his last court appearance, he was physically shaking. Look at him, visibly scared. Entirely different demeanor there in his prison garb. Now, what I'd like to do is put that same footage side by side with an earlier video of him. On the left is Tim Ferriter 3 days before his trial. Calm, cool, collected. On the right, same footage just a week after his conviction. He was trying to get bond to get out of jail. Judge denied that. Now, it's important to remember that he was out on bond during the time of his trial. So what we just saw was the result of his first experiences being locked up in a different kind of box. So what could have happened in that 1 week of incarceration to cause such a change in his demeanor? Let's hear from a felon who served multiple years in the Florida penitentiary system and gave Court TV his predictions on what prison will be like for Tim Ferriter.
They'll smell the fear on him, put it to you that way. He's not going to do too good. You know, it depends on what region of Florida he goes in. The northern region of Florida is a lot more violent than the southern region. So it depends on where he goes, how they're going to try to take advantage of him. A lot of inmates these days like to finesse, like try to sell you drugs or things of that nature, you know. But then up in the northern region, they'll do things like hand you a list of canteen items to go to the window and get. And if you don't come back with that list, then, you know, he'll be beaten pretty bad or even worse. They don't have air conditioning in prison other than 2 prisons in the state of Florida for males. So he's not going to have to worry about any of that. Now, as far as the living conditions go, he'll be in about a 10-by-12 cell, sharing a room with another person. The toilet's going to be right there. They're not very clean environments. As far as things go with the type of charge he's got, he's not headed for anything nice.
Sounds a lot like the box he had his son locked up in. His sentencing set for November 16th. Mark your calendar. Court TV will be there. Again, he's looking at up to 40 years in prison. Let's bring in our tank now. Attorneys Lori Murray, Rick King, and Michael Sterling on the program. What do we think the judge might do with this guy and why? We got a first-time offender on our hands, but very bad child abuse case that we all watched playing out during his trial that we televised here. Lori Murray, let me start with you. Your thoughts, please.
Well, I have such mixed feelings because I'm such an empath, and I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, I think my camera's frozen. Sorry. But I have such an empathetic feeling for this guy because of the way he was shaking. I know going into prison is not easy. I've seen the criminal justice system up front. But at the same time, it was a terrible crime. I think that this being his first offense, that the judge will give him the minimum. And I think he's kicking himself for not taking that plea offer, which he should. Right, Lori. Thank you for bringing that up because it was a sweetheart deal. It was so good. So good. But now he is sunk. Rick King, what do you think the judge is going to do with him when the time comes?
Well, he's going to get at least 48 months, that's for sure. So he's 48 months set to go. What Judge Coates does over that, so I know Judge Coates is a very fair judge. But if you lost a trial, you're gonna get sentenced appropriately. I don't think that he's gonna be very happy. He's gonna wish he took that 2-year deal back in the day. But that shaking right there, he hasn't even left Palm Beach County yet. So he still has to report to prison somewhere. So if he's shaking like that after 1 week or 2 weeks in the Palm Beach County jail, he's in for a very rude awakening.
You're right, my friend. You are right. And I had to remind myself of the exact terms of the deal. Rick, thank you for pointing it out. So the state attorney's office offered him 24 months of confinement in state prison, plus 5 years of probation to follow that. Pretty fair deal, which he rejected. Of course, that was his right to go to trial, and we saw how well that turned out for him. Michael Sterling, you've served as a prosecutor at the federal level. You do defense work now. What do you think his attorneys might try to argue at the time of sentencing? How might they try to convince the court to give him a more lenient sentence than probably most of the general public thinks this guy deserves?
Well, I think what they're probably going to lean on the most is what prosecutors usually lean on, right? Which is the victim impact statement. So I think the defense attorneys are going to point to the testimony of the son, who is the victim in this case, who said that he thought his dad was doing the best he could and shouldn't be punished. And I think they'll probably lean on that quite a bit.
Right. I think you're right about that. Yeah, he didn't blame them. It was so sad hearing the child say, I don't blame Tim and Tracy. They were doing the best they could. And it was just all around so sad. Got to leave it there for now. November 16th, we'll see Tim Ferriter back in court. Maybe he'll be shaken then like he was shaken that week after he was convicted.